Hi everyone. So I just wanted to kind of have a bit of a chat about mental health and mental well-being because I'm really conscious there's a lot going on in the world at the moment, obviously predominantly driven by the pandemic. Everybody is just kind of really struggling. Like I mentioned in one of my previous videos a couple of days ago, we're in national lockdown here again in England, and I'm not up to speed with it where everybody's at in every single country, but what I do know is there's really tight restrictions everywhere. I'm pretty sure pretty much every country is in very similar boat. So I just kind of thought it's really important to touch on these sorts of things because, yes, I can just put out ASMR cleaning videos and I get a lot of comfort knowing that that's helping, just even if it's just one person. Like I said really early on in my videos, that was the reason that I was doing it, because I've talked about I have really chronic pain, and I have really suffered from real agony and real chronic fatigue in the past. I'm very grateful that I'm managing my pain in a lot better state. My fatigue is barely there at the moment, but I am nervous about catching COVID. I'm not going to pretend I'm not, because a lot of people that do get COVID have chronic fatigue symptoms, and yes, it does make me nervous that I could contract that, and I probably have got more higher chances of that with having chronic pain. My chronic pain was triggered from severe pneumonia and pleurisy that I had a couple of years ago. And if I got something similar to that, the chances are it would trigger my pain and fatigue to return. So that's just my own personal fears about catching COVID, not concerned about COVID itself or, potentially dying from COVID, because I think the chances would be quite slim, because besides the pain and fatigue, I'm a fit person, I'm 28. But we all have our own battles, is my point. We all have our own reasons for wanting to shield or isolate, and it can be really tough. It can be really lonely. I'm very fortunate. I have a partner. He works all day, so I am at home on my own with Ruby. But I'm very lucky. There's a lot of people that are living on their own and they're not really seeing anybody. They're not really talking to anybody. A lot of people are frightened, and we were sort of, I think, in a bit of a better headspace last year, because we thought, oh, it's just a short amount of time, let's just power through. But here we are nearly a year later, and what have we achieved? I know the world is kind of learning as we go, and I'm certainly not slating the government in any country, because one, I don't want to pass comment, but I think it is a very difficult thing, personal views aside, it's a very difficult position to be in, to for us, we've gone through Brexit, and that's got its own host of anxieties and worries. But at the same point, I wouldn't want to be leading the country with a pandemic that we've been kind of learning as we go, we know nothing about. So I wanted to do this video to just kind of touch on that it's okay to not feel okay. I'm currently struggling because, not many of you probably know, but we were supposed to get married last year in July. We postponed again to September, and then we postponed again to July this year. It was only going to be 50 people, so it wasn't a massive wedding. We reduced it to 30 people a couple of weeks ago and came to terms that we probably weren't going to be able to have it at the venue. It was probably going to be a bit of more of an intimate do at my parents'. And I accepted that. I accepted I've had to make a lot of sacrifices and, compromises on things, but in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot worse going on in other people's families and households. And, yes, I would have loved to have my dream wedding day, but as long as we get married, that's the most important thing. I don't think 30 is going to be achievable in July, personally. And it is a shame, because personally, I'm a Christian, a couple of you know that, and it does really mean a lot to me to have my day in my church with my dad walking me down the aisle, the hymns that I've always grown up wanting. And for me, that's the important factor of it, is the actual ceremony, the wedding side of it. And I just hope that we get to do that in whatever way that is. I hope we get to have the day that we want, but we are healthy, and we are, in a very fortunate position, considering, what a lot of people have had to go through the last 12 months. And you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I think we're all going to be immunised by autumn, because I just don't think that's physically possible. I think we are looking at a longer term situation. So what I'm wanting to do is kind of try and talk around what we can do to help one another and what we can do to sort of help ourselves, because it all starts with self-help. And I really, really feel for people that are living on their own, that are currently isolating all by themselves, or that live in a flat or an apartment and they've not got much space, and they're trying to, you know, juggle having children at home because the schools might be shut, and then at the same time they're trying to work from home. You know, there's a lot of logistical things going on and a lot of difficulties, and I think people are feeling like they're being pulled from pillar to post, and you know, they're not really having much time for them. So I thought, well, you know, I've had my fair share of depression and anxiety. You know, I struggled with depression when I was younger. I'm not afraid to talk about that. I'm very grateful that I don't suffer from it anymore. But yes, I do get anxiety. I do really struggle with stress. And I have to do all the things I'm going to talk about in a minute to manage my stress and anxiety, because if I let that get carried away, it massively contributes to my pain. And, you know, I really suffer with a bad neck in particular, but I have problems with my back and my hips and knees. So I have hypermobility, so I'm prone to, you know, getting problems with my joints and things. But I massively feel it in my neck and my back in particular if I don't manage my stress levels. So I thought if I could talk around a few things I personally find helpful, and then hopefully, you know, even if it just helps, if just one of the points I've talked about helps one of you, you know, it's worth it. And it's good to have these conversations. You know, it's good to, you know, feel free, by all means, don't feel like you have to, but if you want to comment below on things that you're personally struggling with right now, you know, I kind of feel like we've really built a good little community here, and it's a very, very safe place, I feel. You know, I've very, very rarely come across anybody that leaves any negative comments, because we are all going through our own things, and I do feel like we can all be there to support one another. So if you do feel like you want to comment, you know, below this video of anything that you're personally struggling with, by all means. If you want to comment any different suggestions, you know, anything I've not, you know, because I'm only commenting on a few things that personally help me, but if there's anything that you think, wow, this really helps me, I think that could help somebody else, feel free. You know, I want to create a space where we can all support one another, because we are all over the world. You know, I know a lot of you are in America, but I think, you know, just because we're far away doesn't mean we can't lean on each other and support each other, especially in this sort of crisis that we're all going through. So if I just kind of talk through a couple of things that really help me, and hopefully you might find that they help you as well. So personally, for myself, I like to make sure that I take an hour at night. Now, some of you won't be able to do that. You might have children, you might have other things that you have going on, and, you know, apologies if you can't. But for me, I try and just take an hour a night to have a bath. So I love a bath. So I have lots of different things that I'll have, you know, different bubble baths that I really, really like, or different oils that I'll put in the bath. Anything that you want, anything that the scent uplifts you and makes you feel relaxed. Or if you have a bath before bed and you want to feel sleepy, you know, have a little look. And, you know, granted, you know, you might not want to spend the money on things, but even if you just buy one thing that really makes you feel happy, you know, if you think I'm gonna spend that money, you know, just buying something small that's going to just make you feel better. If there's a particular, because I think scents are so important on lifting your mood. So even if you just got something that was like £5 worth, that sort of you could pop in your bath, just a couple of drops, and just that scent that basically triggers in your brain that I need to unwind now, this is time for me. You know, turn the lights off and just pop some candles in there. I've got off Amazon these little I'll show you in a minute actually, little sort of LED flickering, what are they called, little candles, and it's just those little disc batteries that you just pop in the bottom, and it does like a natural flicker, if you will. But obviously it's a lot better for the environment, because I used to buy the tea lights that you just used to burn for an hour and a half and then chuck in the bin. But I don't like burning anything that's not soy or sunflower wax, because it's not good for your lungs. But also, you know, it's very wasteful, isn't it, just kind of throwing those away. You can't recycle them or anything. So I've been buying these, and I think they're about £12. I can always put the link below actually, on Amazon. So you can get them pretty much anywhere, I'm pretty sure. And if you can't get them on Amazon, if they don't send them to your country, I'm sure you'll be able to find them in another way or another company. And they're really, really relaxing. I just have 2 around the bath, and they're really, really calming. So I put whatever I want to go in the bath. I close the door and I have an hour to myself, and I just relax. And if you can't relax for that amount of time, that's fine. But I put Epsom salts in the bath because I personally find the magnesium that really helps my joints and really helps relax and soothe my muscles. You might also find that they do deep sea salts, they do pink Himalayan salts, and then they do also just pure magnesium sulfate, which is pretty much what Epsom salts are. So I just put a scoop in the bath. And even if you just lie there for 20 minutes, the Epsom salts can't work for any shorter than 20 minutes. But if, you know, I don't get an hour every night, but I try and aim for an hour every night. So if you just took, say, half an hour, relaxed in your bath with the favourite scent and your salts, and just closed your eyes and just try and focus on some breathing, I think you'll feel so much more relaxed at the end of the time that you've got out of the bath. If you can't do nothing for that amount of time, which some of you can't, you know, take in a good book, or, you know, put on some music to listen to on your phone whilst you're sat in the bath. You know, I can always, you know, recommend some relaxing playlists that again are on Amazon Music, so you can always do that. So I find that really, really helps me. If I'm feeling stressed, I feel much better when I've come out of the bath. I mentioned books. Books are a great way to escape the situation that you're in. So if you're an avid reader, definitely get back into that if it's something that's slipped. Another thing I really find is any level of exercise. So no matter what your fitness levels are, because I've personally got out of exercising recently, but if you can just do some stretching, just do that, you know, a couple times a day, just some light stretching exercises. You can download some brilliant apps off like the Google Play Store to have on your phone that are for free. So you can just do some stretching, just try and keep the blood flowing, keep your circulation going and that kind of thing. So any level of, you know, whatever level you are in your fitness journey, anybody can do stretching. Obviously, if you're a bit more advanced, then feel free to do whatever you want. But I know a lot of people, when they feel flat, they easily drop out of doing any form of exercise. But that's a great way to boost serotonin levels, which obviously are the happy hormone in your brain. So definitely try and do whatever you can. It's a miserable wet day here today, but obviously I have to go out every day with Ruby, and it's the best thing because even if I get soaked, I put all my waterproofs on and I drag myself out and we go out for an hour, and I get a lot of joy watching her running around and having fun. So, you know, try your best to go out every single day for a walk, even if it means getting all togged up in your waterproofs and you're all zipped up. It's definitely good for the soul and the mind to get that fresh air, blow the cobwebs away, and definitely just take some time to be around nature. Obviously, if you live in a city or anything like that, it's a bit more difficult, but, you know, try and find a local park or something, and, you know, definitely try and get out there if you can every day. It doesn't do us any good being cooped up every day. So I know some of you won't be able to for health reasons or anything, but even if it's just literally just doing some stretching exercises or just walking around your house or pottering, just try and get moving if you can at all possible. So the other thing that I really love are aromatherapy oils. So again, I've got one in the bedroom and one in the lounge. You've probably seen me cleaning them. But they are like, I've got the one in the bedroom, which is really lovely. I can again link it below if you'd like. It's meant to look like fireworks. So when you turn your lights off and you put the light on, it changes colours, or you can set it. And the way they've done it is really clever, where it looks like a firework display and it just moves into different colours all the time. And it's so soothing and relaxing to watch. And I just put a couple drops of my favourite oils in. Make sure that you check that you're not allergic to any oils, or that if you're burning them around dogs or pets in general, or children, that you do get oils that are safe to be inhaled by pets and children, because there are some that are quite poisonous and toxic to them. But there are essential oils that are safe for pets and safe for children as well. You just pop a bit of water in and then you just turn it on, and it has an automatic shut off, so it is safe to go to sleep with it on, because you can put it on a timer, but it does switch itself off when it runs out of water, so that it's not at risk of catching fire or anything like that. And I absolutely swear by the benefits of aromatherapy oils. If you actually Google them and look into the benefits, honestly, they are endless. They help with so much, from lots of different physical and mental benefits. But obviously, the key thing for me, I use them for stress and anxiety. I absolutely adore frankincense. I think it's the most comforting and soothing scent you can get. And Clary Sage is one of my favorites as well, along with lavender. So, little blends are amazing. I mean, as a little insider, when I first met Chris, my partner, he was like, I don't do aromatherapy oils. Now I will come out of the bath and he'll have had a shower and he will have already blended. He's like, oh, I've done a bit of a mix. I've put different ones in there because I buy all the ones that I know are safe. So, and he's like, really gets into it because he massively finds it affects his mood and makes him sleep through more because he does struggle sleeping. So, even if you think, oh, it's not going to be my cup of tea, please just try it because it really can make a difference. Just something as simple as, I mean, oils have been blended for years, centuries, so they've obviously been seen to be working and have holistic benefits for a long, long time. So definitely look into trying that. So we talked about walking. So also, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of diaphragmatic breathing. So basically a lot of people breathe from their chest. So when I take a deep breath in now, I'll show you what I mean. So if I put my hand here, that's breathing from my chest. Whereas if I put my hand on my stomach, this is diaphragmatic breathing. So you're breathing from your stomach first, and then when you've filled your stomach up, that's when you can go to your chest. So watch my hands now. So if you saw, my hand that was on my stomach moved up first, and then once you've filled your diaphragm, you can then like breathe from your lungs, if you will, with your chest. So using your whole, a lot of people when they're stressed, they breathe solely from the chest, which is just very shallow breathing with the lungs. You should really use your diaphragm to breathe. And if you breathe properly, I mean, there's lots of exercises. If you type in diaphragmatic breathing, it will massively show you all the benefits, but just some of the benefits are it lowers your blood pressure, it obviously helps slow your heart rate, helps with your breathing rate, helps with oxygen demand, reduces oxygen demand, and obviously promotes relaxation. So I literally thought, oh, come on, there can't be all these, like I read about how many benefits there were so many, and I thought, come on, there can't be, it's just breathing. I can be the most stressed, and if I just take 10 minutes, I lie on the bed, put one hand on my chest, one hand on my tummy, just to make sure that I'm doing it properly, because it's really easy to get into the routine of just breathing solely from your chest all the time. So you let your diaphragm fill out first when you can't take any more in. So when you breathe in, your diaphragm should come out. And it feels very abnormal at first, but you do get used to it. Then when you've filled all your diaphragm, that's when you start lifting your chest. You should try and hold for 5 seconds if you can, and then really slow and controlled breathe out. If you do just like 5 of those, in 5 ins and outs, honestly, try it, and I'll be damned if anybody tells me you don't feel better afterwards, because I instantly feel calmed. It's crazy how it works. So please, please, please give that a go and have a read about it, because the benefits are amazing. And I sometimes have to stop myself and think, I'm not breathing properly again. And it's really hard getting yourself to naturally do it without having to focus on it. But eventually you do get there. When I'm really stressed, it does sometimes, I slip back a bit. So I'm definitely going to spend more time doing that, because it is something that I really, really find benefits me. So I would definitely recommend that. And even in your darkest of days, darkest of moments, please always get a pen and paper and write down the 5 things that you're thankful for. You might not have left bed all day. You might literally be really, really struggling to find any positive in anything. And I can distinctly remember a time where when I was about 15, really, really struggling from depression, didn't leave my bed, didn't even open my curtains. And we had a dog at the time called Snoop, and he came into my bedroom and he got on my bed and he snuggled right here. And I honestly, I absolutely adore dogs anyway, but I definitely think he knew. I think he knew that I really needed a cuddle right there. So for me, Snoop went on my list as something that I was thankful for. It doesn't have to be big things, it can be as tiny as you want. The main thing is that you find those 5 things that you're thankful for. It was a really sunny day, and like I say, I didn't open my curtains, but just after Snoop had snuggled into my neck, I saw this like ray of sunshine come through like the tiniest gap in the curtains, and I just thought, wow, like it's a really lovely day outside, and this little ray of sunshine just kind of like came through my curtains, and I just felt like something was telling me to like open the curtains. So I wrote down the ray of sunshine, and that day was the first day in a long time that I actually opened my curtains. And I stayed in my bed, but I sat up in my bed, and it sounds ridiculous if you've never been in that place before, but trust me when I say it does get better, and you do get out of it, and you feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but you just need to help yourself. You need to want to help yourself. And just by trying, just by doing these little things, you can start to get there. And it's not an easy road, and sometimes you do have setbacks, and you think, oh my gosh, like I've taken tiny steps forward and then I'm backwards, and it's okay. You're going to have bad days. Don't try and fight it. Just think, I'm having a really bad day today, or a bad week, or a bad month, but it will get better, and I have faith that it will get better. Now, for me personally, as I've mentioned, I am a really strong Christian. I'm the Church of England, and I don't go to church every day or every week or every month. I've not been to church since lockdown last year, because I certainly don't want to be bringing any more, because there's a lot of elderly people at our church that I don't want to be causing them any anxiety, me going or anything like that. And I just think, with everything going on, I don't need to go to church. Church isn't our building, if you will. A church is how you believe and how you feel, and I personally think it's half the time about the way you live your life. And if you're a good person, and I can still pray, I can still practice things that I would do in the church, I can still sing hymns if I want to sing hymns at home. So try and cut yourself a bit of slack is my point. Try and not give yourself a hard time. I think it's okay to be feeling how you're feeling, and you can feel however you want to feel, and that is absolutely fine. And I just kind of encourage you to try the things. I'm going to list them in the description box below, everything I've just mentioned, because I have probably waffled on a bit, but I just wanted to let you know that I have my days too. Everybody does. Everybody's got a battle. Everybody's got something that they're struggling with. And just if these few things that I've talked about can help, then that's amazing. And please just give them a try. Even if you're skeptical, please just think, I'm going to give them a try, because what's the worst that can happen? Absolutely nothing. And try and talk to people, even if you don't want to talk about what's going on at the moment. It might really help the fact that you don't know each other. We don't know anything about each other. We're not going to judge each other. So if you want to comment below how you're feeling, or anything that you've personally tried, it's an environment where nobody's judging, and we don't really know each other, so it's okay. Use it as a bit of a counselling session if you want. So obviously by no means am I trained, or am I trying to claim to be a counsellor or a psychologist, but I'm just trying to give from one friend to another some things that have helped me personally in my life, trying to be quite raw and open. It's not something I've ever really spoken about before, so please be kind. But I thought, well, so much on social media is it always just always about the positives, and everything isn't always as it seems. And I just thought, I wanted to do a stripped down, raw, no makeup, just I'm in my sweats, I'm currently on a break from working, and I thought I need to talk about that it's not always okay. It isn't always sunshine and rainbows, and that's okay, and it will pass, and we just need to get through it together. And it's been a really difficult long journey, this, with the whole COVID-19, and the end isn't in sight, but we will get there together. And at the end of the day, as long as we can try our best to put together things that we think are going to help ourselves, and you might try the list of things that I've mentioned and only one thing help you, or one thing do you enjoy doing, and that's absolutely fine. You might in fact find other things through Googling. There's the Mind website is really, really good for different hints and tips. you might think, oh, this sounds really good, I'm going to try it. And if you enjoy it, comment below and let other people know, because someone might find everything I've just mentioned absolutely pointless, but they might find something that you've suggested really helpful. So I guess I'm just wanting to create a conversation around it. I'm just wanting to try and normalize mental health and, you know, say that we're very much in a culture where, especially when a lot of people are working from home, you're not going to be going in offices where your friends might notice that you're being a bit quieter than normal. Everybody's behind a laptop or behind a computer, and I don't want people feeling like they can't talk about how they're feeling and that they get worse because they're just on their own. And I know what it's like, you know, in the middle of the night and you've got different thoughts popping in your brain. You can't rationalize things in the middle of the night. But it's kind of like the middle of the night all the time at the moment, because if you're living on your own or you're on your own for most of the day and you're not really interacting with people, things can get really, really severe quickly in your brain when you've got no one to bounce off. So I've really waffled on, and I'm really sorry if anybody's like thought, will you just shut up? But I just wanted to normalize mental health a bit more and say I'm not always okay, and it's okay to not always be okay. Please try the things I've mentioned and comment how you're feeling and things that you've tried that have gotten you out of a dark time, or that still, you know, help you get out of your dark times, and hopefully we can get through this together. So I hope you're all okay, and I'm sending virtual hugs to all of you. And, you know, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, even though it is a bit depressing, and I'm sorry it's not always, you know, uplifting and positive and everything, but we're all in it together and we'll all get through it together. So I'm sending you all love from afar, and yeah, hopefully this will kind of spark a bit of conversation and make people kind of reflect and look out for each other, look out for signs of other people being a bit down and a bit flat, and, you know, hopefully we might reconnect with people that we haven't reconnected with for a little bit. So I hope that this has helped in some way, and hopefully we can find light at the end of the tunnel eventually together. Love you all.